Alright, Schlockmeister fans, a re-review from my previous channel, another anthology. This one's called DEADTIME Stories, 1986. Let's watch. The movie starts with a guy opening a door. That's Uncle Mike.
Get in that bed!
And his nephew.
It's too dark. I can't sleep.
The kid wants a bedtime story.
Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was a fisherman named Peter. He was all alone in the world.
And we see his story played out. This is Peter, Scott Valentine from Family Ties, and he's hanging out with a couple of witches. The witches have a plan to bring their dead sister back to life, and they need various body parts. Including a hand.
Take the divine left hand from a holy man, the one that mirrors his heart. Guide us true. Where's our sister? Where's Magoga?
Next thing you know, we're heading toward a tomb. We're trying to get into it. Which eventually they do manage to get inside. That's what's left of their sister. She needs some work. The next thing they need is a young lady, so they send Peter out to go find one.
You're staring at me.
You're very pretty, Miranda. Maybe...
Peter, what is it?
So they got Miranda tied up and they're starting their ritual. They place their concoction, which has a heart in it, into the corpse of their dead sister. And let's see what happens. Well, the body slowly starts to take shape. Now they need her blood for the sacrifice. But Peter has a change of heart. As a fight ensues, the woman who just got knifed bleeds onto the body of her dead sister, and that's enough. Miranda and Peter escape, and then they are confronted outside by this.
Excuse me, sir, but could you please tell us how to get out of here?
Killed my sisters. I'm gonna make this very painful.
But Miranda to the rescue. She rips out something. Was it the heart? I don't know. Maybe? Miranda to the rescue again. A kiss between the two, and that's the end of this story. So, with the second story, he starts to tell about this girl named Rachel who is fantasizing about some dude in front of her mirror. So we cut to a pharmacy. Here comes Rachel.
Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?
I'm here to pick up a prescription for my grandmother. Name's Krieger.
Is this a house account?
Yeah.
Now apparently,
The charge.
these two prescriptions are going to get mixed. Because when Willie, that dude, gets home, he finds, uh-oh, that's Grandma's prescription. Meanwhile,
What do you think?
Rachel meets up with her boyfriend.
Very classy.
Well,
He has some ideas about making love with her in there.
I just happen to have some candles. And an arrow.
Meanwhile, Willie goes to Grandma's house to try to get his prescription. He wants to see Rachel. Grandma turned him away once.
Open the door!
I will not. Now you go away and I'll call the police.
While they're doing the deed, Willie is outside Grandma's house waiting for her, and something is happening to him. Whatever that medicine is, I think he really needs it. Apparently it's werewolf medicine, and if he doesn't have it, he wolfs out. And he's also still mad at Granny. Rachel runs in, finds her grandma on the ground, but still alive. Now her boyfriend, on the other hand, a wolf runs in the house, chases Rachel down. But succumbs to the silver knife.
So sorry.
Granny's in the hospital now.
Grim, are you alright? Grandma, what big teeth you have?
Well, then he tells them a story about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. But Bears, B-A-E-R, and they're a criminal family who's about to escape from some sort of facility. There's Mama picking them up. Meanwhile, on the other side of town is Goldilocks. She has telekinetic powers.
You are kind of cute.
She's also a serial killer.
Will you be quiet? Well,
She brings that dude's body inside this house where
boy.
all of her previous victims are.
A few of these.
While Goldie's taking a shower, the dim-witted Bears come home. Turns out it's their home.
Pyrotechnics, hand-to-hand combat, and oh yes, macrame.
I'm sorry, I didn't think anyone lived here.
Aren't you cute? What's your name, honey?
Goldie? Goldilocks. Actually, it's Gold. I was born during the 6-Day War.
Isn't she darling? Shall I waste a dip?
No, don't.
I wouldn't be much bother. I could...
Both the Bears and Goldilocks are wanted by the police. Baby Bear takes a fascination with Goldie.
Oh! Hello, baby. Startled me.
Gee, I'm sorry.
Well, Baby puts the moves on her, and unlike all the men that came before, he's successful with her, and she really likes it.
Oh, if only I'd known. Sorry, boys.
Well, the house gets surrounded by the cops, but unbeknownst to them, they had just snuck out a few minutes earlier to go get a pizza. And they think they got them.
Report is that little Goldilocks, who is known to have killed a dozen plus people, was also consumed in the fray.
So they think they're all dead.
Many bodies
Okay,
found
that
on
was
the
too
scene,
special.
so
As they're checking out, Goldie uses her telekinetic powers to choke the life out of her.
state police wounded, as
My
well as
treat.
As that story ends, we cut back to the boy. Uncle Mike is watching TV now, and all of a sudden there's a weird creature in his room.
Nah.
All right, let's talk about Dead Time Stories. Kind of a more of a modern one, I guess you could say. Of course, now it's over 35 years old, but I remember when this came out. I was a kid when this came out, and I wanted to see it. And I eventually saw it, and I didn't think it was all that great, to be honest with you. It's okay, but it's not the best anthology in the world. I had this on a beta tape. I think I taped this off a cable, actually. We got 3 stories here that revolves around this kid who's staying with his Uncle Mike, and he wants Uncle Mike to read him a bedtime story. Uncle Mike is more interested in watching these topless women on television, but he succumbs and gives into telling him the story. So the first story tells him, stars Scott Valentine. You might remember him as Nick, Justine Bateman's boyfriend on Family Ties. He plays Peter, and somehow Peter is, I guess he was an orphan or something. He ends up being with these 2 witches, and the witches want to revive their dead sister, Mogala or Mogago or something like that. I can't remember her name. And so they want to cast this spell, and they need human body parts, this and that. So they go around collecting everything they need. They also need a live woman to sacrifice and use her blood to revive the corpse of their dead sister. Well, they do end up kidnapping one, this busty chick named Miranda, I think it was. And then right at the time that Scott Valentine was supposed to slice her throat, he changed his mind because she was young and pretty and he liked her. So he ends up throwing the knife at the witch, killing her. But then that witch bleeds onto the body, the corpse of the dead, or the previously dead witch. And then that witch comes back to life anyway. And that witch attacks Peter and Miranda and says, "You killed my sisters." And then they end up killing her. And then that's how that story ends. So anyway, the second story, actually from the second and third story on, they were basically going for comedy as well. The second story, now I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the second story was the werewolf one. That's right. There was a girl who went to, it was like a Little Red Riding Hood thing. She goes to the store, to the pharmacy to get her grandma's prescription. It ends up getting mixed up with somebody else's prescription, this guy named Willie. He's actually Willie the werewolf. He takes this medicine to prevent himself from turning into a werewolf. It gets mixed up, obviously, and of course that night must be a full moon because he wolfs out. He goes back to grandma's house earlier in the day to try to track down his medicine, but the girl is out having sex with her boyfriend in a like a small little storage facility or something like that. And then he goes in the house and attacks grandma. Doesn't kill her though. Then the girl finally does come home. The werewolf kills the boyfriend and then goes after her, but then she kills it with this silver knife. It's like a cake tin or something. And then in the hospital, grandma turns into a werewolf, and that's how that one ends. The third story was Goldilocks and the Three Bears. However, it was Bayer, like B-A-E-R. That's the last name of this family, a mama, papa, and a baby bear. They're all dim-witted idiots. The two boys, the 2 males, escaped from some sort of facility. Mama picked them up. They come back to their home, which has now been invaded by Goldilocks, who, by the way, is a serial killer. She has killed several young men who tried to come on to her, and she's never given in to any of them. They find her taking a shower, and they agree to let her stay with him. Baby Bear takes a fancy to her, and next thing you know, she and Baby Bear hook up, and she actually lets him screw her, I guess you could say, and she loves it. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know what I was missing." So then they're a couple. They go out for a pizza. While they're gone, the cops track them down at the house, shoot up the house, and then they find all the bodies in there. So they, I guess, assume that they got everybody and killed them all. Meanwhile, the family and Goldilocks are out having a pizza, and they've escaped. They heard the news that they thought they were dead, so they're free to do whatever the hell they want then. Cut back to the kid whose uncle was telling him the stories, and some monster comes jumping down from his ceiling, and that's how that whole movie ends. So anyway, that is Dead Time Stories. Again, it's okay, but nothing overly special here. Now, I have this DVD, which says it was put up by Image Entertainment, but I think this is a bootleg. For one, it says DVD-R on it, and the credits were cut short. They cut half the credits out. Whatever. But anyway, this has been released on Blu-ray since then, and I'm sure the Blu-ray is legit. So anyway, I'll leave a link to that down below if you're looking for it. Dead Time Stories, it's not bad. It's just not great. But anyway, it's got a couple of nude scenes thrown in from some pretty actresses, so I guess that was all good. So check it out. Let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments, and go ahead and click that link on Amazon and buy it. Let me know what you think about it. Dead Time Stories. Watch it. Bye.